Adhocracy News, March 13th, 2017. Today's top stories.
Bill Murray sings.
Play-doh trademarks its smell.
Game of Thrones melts into a new season live. Hello, I'm David Landeen.
And I'm JD Melville, and welcome to the Adhocracy News, where we share stories of the advertising, marketing, art, and design world that happened in this last week or so.
Now, if you're here for the first time, press that subscribe button down there where you can find out about these news stories and other shows that we do here. New shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not always news, but always entertaining.
Absolutely. And thank you so much if you have subscribed before. If you're here, if you are a long-time watcher, we appreciate you.
On to the top stories. Soylent, the meal replacement brand that is known for its simple design and branding, came out with a mascot. Trish, the artificial intelligent bot, was launched last week by the agency Wieden & Kennedy. The purpose of the chatbot is to increase awareness beyond the tech community. Soylent CEO Adam Gramblick said that their target audience is busy and independent males, typically 18 to 34 years old. This audience is busy and they don't have time to get 3 complete meals.
That's kind of funny because I'm actually in there. I've actually had their stuff.
And you are?
I am 34 and I am a male and I am independent. Well, I'm not completely independent, but I am busy.
Yeah.
Go on.
And so Wieden & Kennedy have a large tech focus, and that's why they chose. That's why they were chosen as the ad agency to run Trish. Trish runs the virtual store and can answer all of your questions, such as what flavors do you have and what do people ask about Soylent. So it'll give you questions to ask.
Yeah, it kind of comes up with those questions. It's sort of like there, and it kind of watches where your mouse goes. And
yeah, I would describe Trish as a mashup of Flo and Siri that looks like a mashup of Eva from WALL-E and 80s Robot from The Muppets.
Okay. Yeah, and I was when I first saw this story, I was kind of interested because I thought it was going to be a little more like the Subservient Chicken that was done for Burger King.
So much fun.
That was put on by CPNB, Crispin, Porter, and Bogusky. But it's a little bit more kind of narrowed in, and it sort of just gives you the answers. So
a little like has like kind of a retro vibe to it. But I don't know. It's interesting that it's a female bot, and their audience is typically males. So I don't know if that was on purpose.
You've got to have like the female there to. That's funny because my Siri specifically is actually a British man.
Well, maybe they'll come out with different versions of Trish.
What would the male version of Trish be?
Jeeves. That's probably been taken already.
You can't ask Jeeves.
Oh, yeah. Well, retro vibe. All right. So go check that out. It's on Soylent's website.
Ads. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. You've seen him in so many random and fun places that his unexpected and random appearances could almost be counted on. But now, Bill Murray has shown up in a music video. In a collaboration with Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous band, we've seen them from, Night Show.
Yep.
Bill actually is lending his vocal cords to an upbeat song called Happy Street, and it's sort of a discussional sing-song. Paul Schaefer, hey, Bill.
Okay, so it's almost kind of a sketch to it, kind of Tenacious D-esque.
Yeah, so he's kind of, Paul Schaefer sees Bill on the street, and Bill's just talking about Happy Street. This actually has a music video that's animated, and it was animated by Jay Marks. He's a 2D, 3D animation and motion designer. And it kind of depicts our dreary world that we live in this, light and fun, fuzzy style that basically shows what happens when Bill Murray shows up, which... is everyone is just happy and wants to sing and
that's 100% believable. I honestly believe that if Bill Murray showed up, this music video would happen on the spot.
Yeah, and one of the depictions is a guy actually robbing a bank, and then Bill Murray walks by singing his Happy Street song, and the guy gives the money back, and the cops are there to pick him up, and he just kind of arm in arm, do-si-dos with them, and it's actually pretty funny. I just love Bill Murray and his influence on our world, and we definitely need more people like this that, just I mean, he's been in just about everything. He's got so many different genres. He's got such a great influence. And
Fun fact, if you want to get a hold of Bill Murray for a movie, you call a 1-800 number that goes to an answering machine.
Oh, really?
Yep. It is, he calls you, you don't call him.
So go ahead and check out Happy Street. Check out the music video. You can find it on Spotify as well, and enjoy that.
And now for a much more lighthearted story. Play-doh. Whether you've molded it, squished it, or ate it, you probably remember one distinct feature, the smell. And now that smell has the attention of some big-time lawyers. In February, Hasbro, Inc. filed paperwork to trademark the product's smell. This is a rare move by a brand, but not unheard of. There have actually been about a dozen or so filings for smell trademarks since 1990. But how do you trademark a smell?
Yeah, that's really interesting because it's not.
There's nothing physical about it. It's like you can't like sketch it up or drawings. So they got a little creative and they had to they had to get descriptive. The filing describes it as a unique scent formed through the combination of a sweet, slightly musky, vanilla-like fragrance with slight overtones of cherry and the natural smell of a salted wheat-based dough.
That is descriptive.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if they ever make a perfume out of that smell, I mean, I could just imagine that commercial. Like,
I want to see a Play-doh cologne. or like, perfume commercial.
It's like Play by Dough.
Play by Dough.
Anyway, so Hasbro claims to be filing the trademark to protect against bootleggers because, you know, there are so many people out there who are trying to create Play-Doh and have it be the exact same smell. I don't know. I guess maybe there are. But that gives you a good test. Like, let's say you find something on the street that you think is Play-Doh, and you can if it looks like it and it feels like it, take a little sniff, and if you smell musky vanilla cherry salted wheat scent, you know it's the real thing.
I'm just picturing like. You know how you have like DVD bootleggers, like they show that like in Zootopia. They have Weaselton sitting there selling bootlegs. Like I could just see someone on the street with Play-Doh.
here's all the Play-Doh.
You want your blue sparkly? I've got some blue sparkly for you right here. Hey, this isn't real.
This isn't real. I know the real thing.
That's more of a mango than it is a cherry.
You're missing the musk to it.
That was definitely lighthearted. That was great. Thank you for that. Now, what is the worst part of waking up? Could it be this story in your cup? Step aside, KFC, Popeyes, and Chick-fil-A. There's a new company in town. Well, at least Austin, Texas. Well, and only during the conference and festival that combines interactive film, music, SXSW, or South by Southwest. Netflix will be featuring a Los Pollos Hermanos restaurant to promote their third season of Better Call Saul. Now, this is sort of a spin-off of
it's a prequel of Breaking Bad, the story of Saul, the great lawyer played by Bob Odenkirk. I mean, he was one of the greatest parts. I mean, you can't really name one great part of
Breaking
Bad, but he was a fan favorite that they then did a prequel spin-off.
Yeah, so... The Los Pollos Hermanos started in the actual hit show of Breaking Bad, and it was a front for a business for a large drug ring that was run by a character named Gus Fring. The show Better Call Saul follows the questionable lawyer's moves before the story of Walter White, during his time, and they actually have talked about maybe even going past Walter White, kind of what happens
afterward. Well, the first shot of the show is what happens after. So there's a lot. That's why they're kind of thinking that might go that way.
So the pop-up restaurant will actually kind of have appearances from the Saul actor Bob Odenkirk and the actual restaurateur and drug kingpin Gus Fring actor Giancarlo Esposito.
It would even be awesome if like all of a sudden you have like Walter White like coming out this back door and like going back and forth.
Jesse.
And like these trucks like that keep coming back and like kind of out of suspicious.
And so this will actually these things will happen during the South by Southwest events.
That is fun.
And you can actually look for the series premiere on April 10th. And this is one of the things that I'm absolutely loving about this is how Netflix and AMC have been promoting this Better Call Saul. They've had a lot of great just outdoors, just campaigns that really...
Well, and a big thing is Netflix is the reason for Breaking Bad's success. When it started, it wasn't that big of a success, and then because of Netflix, because people could binge watch it on Netflix, it created the phenomenon which is Breaking Bad, and
that's where I saw it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nice that they have that collaboration together, that they're not necessarily competing but working together.
Yeah, and so there's a couple of little ad campaigns and things that they did. For example, about a year ago, they did this questionable advice, like lawyer advice from Saul in Europe, where they put up things and said like smoking pot is $1,275 or pound fee, but a trip to Albuquerque is $275. Hashtag just saying stuff like basically saying like advice from a lawyer that's kind of sketchy.
Nice.
They did a billboard in Albuquerque that featured James M. McGill, attorney at law.
Which is Saul's name in the show before he's Saul.
Yeah, before he became Saul. So it sort of didn't really, like, they didn't have any, like, small clues. Like, that was, like, unless you're watching the show, like, you would actually see that and be like, oh, okay, there's a guy named James McGill. The first letters of each of the episodes, I believe of season 2, spelled out "Frings back."
Yeah.
And so to kind of bring that up, they actually did a commercial, a Los Pollos Hermanos commercial, where it's him like as the restaurateur and being like, "Come down to Los Pollos Hermanos," like.
Super creative.
So I love the kind of marketing that they've got going on.
Wow. I sure learned a lot from that last story.
I wouldn't want that in my cup.
No siree. Roses are red, violets are blue. This next story has nothing to do with rhyming. Game of Thrones, the HBO fantasy phenomenon that people can't get enough of, announced the date of its new season in a very creative way. Last Thursday, Game of Thrones Facebook did a Facebook Live event and streamed the announcement by placing an enormous block of ice in a dungeon setting with the date of the season premiere frozen in the middle, and then they had a plate covering that.
Okay.
And then what they would have people do is they had people say, "Hey, comment below the word fire," and then when enough people commented, they would turn on these giant flames,
like flamethrower type things
that would be melting the ice, and they would only last for so long, and then they would stop, and people had to start commenting again, and like it just when they had a little trouble, like around 11 minutes, it like kind of shut down. And I think there was like so many people on it, they didn't expect, and they had to start it back up again, but anyway, huge success, and then as the ice melted by the end, I mean it was probably only about a half hour stream combined before it was a huge block of ice too.
Yeah.
And then when it melted, this plate fell down, and it revealed that the season 7 premiere date is July 16th, 2017, and by the end of the live stream, 161,000 people were viewing and commenting.
That's phenomenal. I mean, that
it's an amazing way of using a live stream.
Oh yeah.
Like super creative. And then they would also have like actors and people from the cast pop up and, "Hey guys, comment below. This is so and so, and we're excited about the new season. Make sure you comment fire."
I mean, getting people because one, like there are definite fans of the show, and of course they're interested in this, but that kind of engagement and being part of that. I mean, that's an event that, those people are going to talk about when they talk about the show, right?
Well, and everybody wanted to share it because the more people that got on and commented, the faster you would find out the date. And so everybody's sharing it with their friends. And
Because I mean, it created an urgency, which, I mean, is hilarious because you're going to find out really soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it took, half an hour?
About a half hour. But in that half hour, they had so much exposure and all these fans. And the fans felt like they were part of this, and like brilliant marketing on their part. I loved it.
Well, and a little piece of interest, especially because, this is the season 7 premiere. The iconic rock arch, the Azure window off the Malta coast actually collapsed in a storm. So that little backdrop that...
it's featured in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. won't be there. So this is definitely a filming of a piece of history of our world.
All right. So those were their stories for the day. What stories did we miss? Was there anything that happened that you saw that we didn't cover?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below, also as well on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, what stories we should cover in this next week.
Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to this video and this channel.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And to start your week, a video you can get behind.
At Los Pollos Hermanos, we know only the best will do for you and your family. What does family taste like? In your heart, you know it's the best ingredients, the spiciest spices.